All right, hey guys, OFD checking in here on a Saturday morning, and today I have what I think is one of the most, if not the most, iconic diverse watches available from Seiko Watch Company. As a matter of fact, I think that just last year in 2019 they re-released a remake of this watch, and it's fetching quite a pretty penny. I think it's around $4,000 if you can find one out there. This is an all-original model. This is a July of 1974 model right here. And as you guys can see, this watch is in really good shape. This watch is actually for sale. If you guys are interested in this watch, I have my contact information down below in the bottom, and you can reach out to me and ask about it or inquire about it. And I'll actually get you in touch with the owner. It's not my watch. But guys, a really nice example here. I think this watch, from what I can tell, is pretty much 100% all original. I do believe that the crystal has been replaced, which would make sense. The crystals on these watches were very prone to scratching. It's standard Seiko Hardlex crystal, and it really freshens up a watch. You can leave the original bezel insert, which this one does have, and all of the original handset and whatnot, but replacing that crystal and getting all those old scratches out of the way really makes a difference in the watches. So I think that's actually kind of a bonus. Other than that, this watch appears to me to be all original. The locking mechanism on the crown is still functioning, working well. If you guys aren't familiar, these are not a standard screw down crown. They actually pop out to set the time, and then when you push it back in, it allows you to screw it over, and there's a pin that comes out of the case and actually locks into the crown there. So different original mechanism on the watch. These watches are running the 6105. This is a 21 joule, or excuse me, 17 joule movement in these, 21,600 vibrations per hour. It's a non-winding, movement because of the Seiko's magic lever system. But interesting, these are hackable movements, so you can actually set the time precision, which is pretty cool. These were always popular with military people back in the Vietnam era, and I think that hackability was part of that. Synchronizing watches for any kind of mission or timing you need to do is an important feature, and having that hackability is really neat. So guys, I want to show you, I'm going to get a little closer here and show you, try to get that blur out of there. These watches back in their day really had a lot going for them. You can see the polishing done on the hands. Now, these are all original hands, but they also had applied indices, which I think is really impressive back in the day. And it's hard to see, but they are polished surrounds on there. Now, this watch being, the age it is, it's 45 years old, so it really does have quite a bit of patina there. Unfortunately, there on that second hand spinning around, the patina has gotten to that little red dot. Those usually have the little red stoplight down there at the bottom of and the second dot down there, but that's definitely faded out. The watch looks really good, is in great condition. I've actually had this watch running for a couple of days now, and it's running like within 20 seconds. So I think that's really good for a watch of this age. I'm not sure if anything's ever been done to it as far as the service life. I didn't take the case back off, but taking a look at the case on the watch, this is an original piece, and so you can see there's not been any polishing done to the case to cut down those original Seiko nice edges there. Really cool 19 millimeter lug opening on these watches, but that typical just sexy Seiko case design, a little original ding there. The nice bezel. The bezel action is actually pretty good. It's kind of stiff. These are unidirectional bezels, of course. The older models were before the the actual diving specifications came in explaining what they had to have. But you got a date window over here on this one at the 3 o'clock position, which was common. Also has that surround on it, polished up, done nicely. But this is a really nice example of an all-original 6105. I think, like I said, all original besides that crystal, which is something most people would want to do anyways. Take a look at the case back there. You guys can see the Seiko, the water resist. Now, if you guys aren't familiar, the original 1970s models, for just a number of months, they actually, down here said waterproof. They were proof models, meaning they said proof on the front and proof on the back. Those are really hard to come by. Those are really sought after by collectors. This is a resist model, so it's got resist on the dial, resist on the back here of the case. Giving you the serial number there, guys. You guys can see this is a July of 1975 model, so it is an early version. Actually, not early. This is a later one, I guess, because they ran from 70 to 77 on these 6105s. Case back, nice original brushing there on the case back. But really nice looking watch. These are 44 millimeter case. If you guys aren't familiar, 44 side to side, 47 lug to lug, so it's going to fit on the wrist really well. I'll actually get it on my wrist here in just a second. 13 millimeters of thickness, and like I said, you have a a 19 millimeter lug opening. They did reissue these watches, like I said, this last year. They're like $4,200. And I know there's a few manufacturers out there you can find on eBay that are actually making, basically copies or remakes of these now with different logos on the dial. And they're actually pretty decent looking little watches. So let me pause it for just a second, get this watch on my 7-inch wrist. And no loom shot, because I'll tell you guys the loom is pretty dead on this thing. But there is still a little bit, but it just barely lasts at all. Just barely lasts at all. Maybe I will do a loom shot, but let me go ahead and put this one on my 7-inch wrist. All right, so here's the watch on my 7-inch wrist, and you guys can see that even with a 44 millimeter lug, or a 44 millimeter, case dimension, 47 lug tip to lug tip makes this watch fit well. Very prominent watch on the wrist. If you guys have seen Apocalypse Now, Captain Willard, played by Martin Sheen, he's wearing this watch throughout the movie. And the watch is a character to me. I'm a watch guy, so the watch is actually a character in the movie because it's constantly on his wrist. It's always there. You can always see it, very prominent. Now, this one has been put on, some site or I think this is actually like a digital watch band that's been cut and made to fit on here, Velcro style. It actually looks pretty cool. And back in the day, this is actually the way people would have probably, gotten this watch to work later on over the years if they'd lost their original strap. But I think this should probably be on like an Uncle Seiko 19 millimeter waffle strap. That would look right. I think there's a couple companies out there making some of the other OEM straps out there, but I think that Uncle Seiko would look really, really good on here. I'll dim the lights, guys, here for just a second, and we'll show you what loom is actually left on this watch. All right, so like I said, not much loom left at all. I tried this yesterday, and I didn't put a whole lot of light on it, but you got to say 45 years old. If you got any loom at all, that's pretty good. Actually, look at that. That's pretty darn good for a 45-year-old watch, guys. That's actually not bad at all. So very cool. Like I said, this watch is for sale. If you guys are interested at all in purchase of this watch, you can contact me down below. The price, the asking price on this is $14.95. which for a pretty much all original Seiko 6105 with a new crystal in it, $1,495 US is a really good deal. Now, I'm not sure of international shipping or anything like that, but this watch is for sale. If you guys are interested, inquire down below. In the description is the email, and you can reach out and ask some questions. So, all right, guys, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up at the bottom. If you've not subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Please do. Thanks, guys.